Hello everyone, it's Kathy and you're back here on my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Access Stampin'. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're going to be looking at the stamp set in the mini catalog called Hello Ladybug. And this is such a cute stamp. It does come with a coordinating punch that punches out your ladybug. And let me get the stamp set because I want to show you all of it. This is your stamp set. It is a photopolymer stamp set, and I think if you're stamping these, I'm going to be using the punch today, and I'm only going to stamp the wings with black. So I'm going to punch those out of red and stamp the little dots, which are right here. You can stamp the entire wing if you like, but I think for what I want to do today, I want to use that. Also, for any of you that don't know it, the little daisy that comes in here also coordinates with the medium daisy punch. Now, the large daisy punch is retiring, but this one will stay around for a bit longer, so at least for another year. So, just thought I would throw that out and let y'all know. So the card that we're going to work on, I actually saw this design on another Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Joy of Cards, I believe, is her name. And the card was so cute, I thought I have got to kind of sort of replicate it because the difference in it was the border that she used. So the Ornate Floral 3D embossing folder, our Ladybug punch, our stamp set, and I brought in the basic border dies, and I'm going to use this one right here. You could use any of these, but I thought this one was really cute. And so that's the one we're going to use. So I'm just going to take that out of my package of my basic borders. I'm going to lay that over out of the way along with the stamp set because we don't need that right yet. Now I have quite a few pieces here, but I'm going to explain to you what each piece is and what it's for. We have a real red card base that is 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. This gives us a traditional A2 size card. I have a piece of yellow cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 5.5, and you're going to see why I have it that size in just a moment. For the inside of our card, I have a piece of the Pattern Party Designer Series paper, and I also have a piece of basic white that measures 3 1/4 by 5.5. And this piece measures 3 inches by 5.5. Now all of these dimensions will be on the description. It'll be in the description box below. I also will have a project sheet that I will post on the Facebook group. So if you're interested in printing that out as a PDF, you can do so, and that way you'll have all the dimensions, measurements, and products that I used. Okay. The other thing, I have 3 pieces of just scrap cardstock. I have a black piece, a real red, and a white. So we're going to lay those all over to the side because the first piece we want to concentrate on is this yellow piece. I'm going to lay my die over here too because I'm not ready for that just yet. The first thing I want to do is I want to lay this piece on top of my real red, and I want that to be evened up perfectly. So this is Daffodil Delight on top of the real red. Now I'm going to use one of my post-it flags just to hold this in place because I don't want it to move when it goes through my die cut machine. Now I'm going to come in about 2 inches, and I'm using my grid lines here to line this up, and I'm going to even it so that I have about the same amount of die coming off of each side of that. And see what I mean? So I'm holding that right there on that 2-inch mark, and I'm going to use my post-it flags to adhere this to my paper. Now I did mine a little bit different than what I saw her do because I want to make sure that I cut this first and then I will emboss this piece. So let me show you what I'm talking about. We're going to bring over our large Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine because we need the large one to be able to feed this through. This would be something going through like this. This will work if you were sending it through like this, but we can't do that because our paper's too wide. We're going to have to send it this way. I don't like to put a straight edge through my die cut machine, but ever so often it is necessary, and this is definitely one of those times that we will find it necessary to do this. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and feed this through, and we are going to get a bit of a pop because it is a straight edge, and it's a little bit harder to get a straight edge through. So I'm just going to go ahead now and push that all the way through and take it out. I'm not going to take my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine off just yet. Let's make sure we got this cut. And we didn't. It did not cut all the way through. So I am going to remove a couple of these sticky tags or flags. Just a couple of them. And we are going to run this back through, but this time we're going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to put this piece down, and we're going to put the cut plate on top, and I'll show you why we're doing that. I'm cutting up this time rather than down. So let's put it in like this, turn this around. That's going to put that the roller bar closer to this side of the paper and help cut that through. Again, we're going to have a big pop. Let me turn it around this way so I can get a little leverage on it. There we go. Alright. It's much easier to do this if you can get the leverage that you need. So now let's see if it cut all the way through. And you can see that it did, but it's a little janky, so we're going to be very careful when we take this off, making sure we don't tear our cardstock. And you see that we got both sides of it. Now this side is going to have a beautiful pattern in it. I'm taking this off very, very carefully. Alright, now this is the piece we want to run through our embossing folder. So, and with it being a 3D embossing folder, I only need my number 1 plate. So I'm going to lay both of these over to the side and grab my number 4 plate. We are going to grab our embossing folder. And I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to use my mark that's put onto my, if you notice, every Stampin' Up folder has a line right down by their logo, and there's a reason for that. Now I want to make sure I'm getting the right side up. So this is the wrong side, so I'm putting the right side down, and we're going to close that up. We're going to turn it and make sure the top of it is going to feed through straight, and put the number 4 plate over it. And then we're just going to feed this through like this. Now that's going to give us our embossing on that top piece. And I wish I had the card that I made, but I have already sent that to someone, so it's already in the mail. But there is our embossed piece. I don't know if you're, there we go. You see that beautiful embossing? So pretty. Alright, so now that I got that done, we can go ahead and put this away because I don't think we're going to need to die cut anymore. Lay that over there. And let's go ahead and put our machine away. Alright, let's bring these pieces back over because what I want is I want this to sit on here with just a tiny bit of that red showing right there. So see what we have? Just like that. I love that. So we're going to need to trim this. So if I put this right where I want it, we're going to need to take off about 1/4 of an inch. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this to my trimmer, and I'm going to take about 1/4 of an inch off of this side. So I'm going to lay it in. So 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to bring this cut blade down and slice that off. Just 1/4 of an inch. And you can keep this if you like. You might be able to find a place to use it. So now I can bring this back over, and I can line this up right to the edge of the cardstock. And this is where we want to adhere that. All the way over, right against that score line, but not over it. You want to go to it, but not over it. So I'm going to use some liquid glue, and the reason I'm choosing liquid glue for this is I want to have wiggle room. Plus, liquid glue works really good in the nooks and crannies of your embossing folders. So I'm going to make sure I get a good amount on these little peaks, like so. So now what I want to do is bring this piece right to that score line. And make sure you got it to the top and the bottom. And this is what your piece should look like once you get that on. Now this is where this piece of black and white plaid, which I love that buffalo check, that's going to go right there. And you see how pretty that's going to be with the black, the white, and the yellow and the red. This piece is going to get cut, or maybe this one. No, I think I'm going to use this one. That will get cut down and put inside, but it's not going to be that wide. Maybe we do need to do this one. Yeah, maybe that one, because that one will not show. Okay, we'll get to that in just a moment. The next thing that we want to do, and we're going to wait to work on the inside as well, we're going to go ahead and cut out 2 of our little ladybug bodies. And I like to be able to put my cardstock in just right there at the opening so I can see what I'm punching and punch. And then I can come in right about here and punch. Now you're always going to get debris, and when I say debris, you know what I'm talking about. The little pieces that punch out. I got glue on my mat. Okay. The little pieces that punch out that you don't need. So here's our 2 little ladybugs. And I'm going to lay them here because you're going to see just how stinking cute they are. We're going to come in with the real red, and we're going to cut their wings. So I'm just going to right there. Let's come up to the top corner. Oops. And then I'm going to come right down here and come over just to right there, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to punch those wings. So that was rather easy thing to do, don't you think? So now with our wings, we want to do some stamping on our wings. So I know I'm working with a photopolymer stamp set, so I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. And I have 2 of these. I have one that I only stamp on, and I have another one that I only pierce on, because I didn't want holes in the one that I stamp, and I didn't want to have to stamp over top of holes, so I just went ahead and invested in 2 of these. So it's a good thing. I also want to talk to y'all about if you're interested in getting a kit, which is a great value, $125 worth of product for $99 and free shipping. It's a great time to come in right at the beginning of our launch of our new catalog. You will get the new catalog. You'll get several new catalogs, and the mini catalog that's current right now. And it is just a super way to come in. You don't have to do what I do. You don't have to do videos. You don't even have to sell. I have several of my girls that don't sell. They came in as a hobbyist. They just wanted to be their own best customer and get their discount. So if you're interested in doing that, reach out to me and I'll give you all the information. So I'm going to go ahead, and the little dots that's in there, I'm going to go ahead and pick those up. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to line them up on here. I love ladybugs. It's the only bug I'm not afraid of. I don't like bugs in general, but ladybugs are so cute. And I will literally let a ladybug crawl on me. Oh goodness. But I don't like other bugs. Now I'm going to ink this really good because I want these dots to be very well inked. And not my finger. I got my finger in the ink. And now I'm going to come down right on top of those little wings. Oh, I made a mess. Let's turn that wing over and try that again. And I'm going to hold that just for a moment and let it adhere. Make sure that the dots are transferring over. And there we go. That looks good. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other one. And get right over top of it. I hope my head's not in the camera. And stamp. I'm going to hold it and put some gentle pressure against it. Very pretty. Okay, I don't think we need our ladybug stamp any longer, so I'm going to lay that over here. And let's put our top back on my ink pad. Alright, I went ahead and cleaned that stamp because I like to clean them as soon as I use them. The photopolymer will stain, and as you can see, it is stained, but it is clean. So now that I've got that done, I'm going to show you two ways that you can put these on. A real cute thing to do is to use a brad and put those on with one of our little black and white brads, and let's see if I can find those. This is another item that is coming back in our catalog, and those things are so wonderful. I use them on my windmill. Anything that you need that you might want to move. And you've got all different sizes in here. You've got square ones, you've got round ones, you've got black ones, you've got white ones. So I want to use a tiny round black one. That one looks a little bent, but that's okay. We'll straighten him out with our finger. So I'm going to take these off of here, and I'm going to get my other mat that is my Pierce mat. And I marked these so that I would know. I put Pierce on one and stamp on the other. So I'm going to hold that down right about where I want to put the hole. And I'm going to bring in take your pick tool, and right over top of where that indentation is, I am going to pierce. Just like that. Then I'm going to take this brad and I'm going to run it through, and I'm going to pick this up, and then here is where you can open your brad up. What you want to do is make sure you're getting it as flush to it, and look, the dot looks like it's just a dot on the ladybug. Such a great little set of brads that you can use for so many different things. And there we go. And the wings will move a little bit like that. So, and you can also take your bone folder if you like and curl your wings a little bit. This just gives a little added dimension. It doesn't take much to curl them, just one little curl. And look how cute that is. Oops. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing with this one. So I'm going to show you how to do that one more time. We are going to place our wings where we want them to land. And then hold them. Take your pick tool or any type of piercing tool that you might have. And just go right down into there. You want to have your brad ready if you can. Which I didn't. There we go. That's a small one. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick that right down in there and then lift my ladybug up. Once I get my ladybug up, then I can go back here to the back and open these brads up just like this. And there are both of our ladybugs. And I'm going to just, like I said, you can curl these with your finger, your bone folder. That one doesn't have quite as big of a curve to it because I did it with my fingers. Okay, we have our ladybugs ready to go. So we are going to decide where we want these, whether it's here and here. And I think that is really good positioning for these. I'm going to come up just a little bit. I want to be mindful of what I want to do in between here, and that is where one of our white pieces is going to come into play, because I'm going to use another punch, and this one is coming back. This is our fancy label punch, and it's great because you can make cute little labels with this. You can do tags with it because you have a place that will cut this out or that, and I'm going to show you how. Alright, we're going to put this in and punch it on the red. And now we're going to take this piece and just feed it right into here. And if you get it where you just see the edge of it in there, that will be just about where you want it to be. Make sure you got it straight, and you look at your edge right there and punch. That gives you a nice little piece right along there. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Close it down, hold it, make sure it's nice and straight, and punch. Alright. Now let's see if I can get all of this debris off of my desk. Now this little piece I'm going to actually use for my sentiment, but I want a piece of white that I can feed through here. So I am going to take this piece and I'm going to cut off a strip that is about a half an inch, just a little bit over a half an inch. And I'll show you my idea for this. We're going to be able to stamp our message on the white and have this feed through like it's a ribbon. I think that's so cute like that. And then we bring our card back in. This is why I wanted to do this before I adhered down my little bumblebees, or my ladybugs. So I'm going to put this down probably right about here. But I want to stamp my sentiment right there first. And let's look at this. We could do hello, it's a good day. I like it's a good day. And I'm going to stamp that in the real red. So I'm just going to bring this over just like that, and I'm going to load this up on a stamp block. I'm going to get it nice and straight here on my mat. And I'm going to load it up on this stamp on my block. Grab my real red. And we're going to stamp that right there. Love it. So the front of our card is starting to come together. So I'm not going to adhere anything down until I'm ready to actually put this all together. But that's going to be my front. And this is going to be my inside. So I think I can cut this down just a bit. We don't need, I'm going to lay all of my little embellishments over here. We're not going to need to have this quite that wide. I mean, we could, but this piece we want it to be smaller, not as wide, because when I close this down, I want to see that, I want to see this other paper, the buffalo plaid. I may just go ahead and adhere this down, and then we can cut our other piece accordingly. I think I am going to go ahead and put that down. I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal for this because I don't want wet glue to show through that. And this piece was 3 inches by 5.5. Now I'm gonna okay, that looks good. Now if you see that you got a little excess hanging over like that, I mean that is minute. Just take your scissors, and I just like to go in at an angle. And that's got adhesive on it, so it can be a little difficult to cut. But just trim that out like that. And do the same thing along here. Let's get that sticky off of there. And then that's all cleaned up. Alright, so now we want to go ahead and put this piece in. And this is 3 1/4, but we're going to cut this down. We're going to cut let me measure and see exactly where I need that to fall. I think we're going to take this down to 2 1/2. So I'm going to bring that to 2 1/2. And then one other thing that I think looks so cute on this is I'm going to use my Detailed Trio punch. This punch is retiring, so if you are interested in this punch, they have it deeply discounted. So I would say go grab it before they're gone, because this is a great punch to have. So I'm going to do corner rounders on this one. I'm just going to stick it in here. And round those corners just like that. And I'm only doing the two that are going to be showing to the outside. Just like that. I want to make sure everything is hiding behind this panel, and it is. So I'm going to go ahead I'm going to iron that edge of this because it feels like it's sticking up. You can see where it was cut. And let's go ahead and get the front of our little card together. So I'm going to put this little bumblebee here, and I am going to pop him up on dimensionals. And I think just a couple on here will work beautifully, and I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And I like to make sure that I get right over top of those little brads so that I know that they're adhered down as well. So that's ready, and then this piece right here, we're going to pop it up as well. So I am going to pop here, here, and one in the middle. How cute is that? That card is cute just like that without doing anything else to it. So stinking cute. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and turn everything over, and I'm going to pick off my dimensionals. And I'm going to start off with putting a ladybug and right up to the top. And I want this other one trailing down here. And then we're going to do our sentiment, "It's a good day." Just like that. Now I'm ready to stamp something on here, and I think I'm going to do "May your greatest wish come true." We're going to make this a happy birthday card. So I want to grab a happy birthday. Let's see. Let's see if my happy and heartfelt has me a decent birthday. This one I'm not seeing anything that I like in that one, so let's look a little bit further. Okay, A Wish for Everything is a 2-set stamp, and it has so many wonderful sentiments. So I'm going to do happy and birthday. Guess what? This one haven't even taken the labels off, so let's see if we can find happy. So this is literally a brand new stamp set. I think this one is coming back, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. I need to check because it's a shame I have not used this. And let's see, what's my birthday? Do y'all have a hard time reading backwards? I really do struggle with that, especially with stamps. If it's a typed word and it's backwards, I don't have any trouble deciphering it. But I see Thanksgiving, anniversary, Christmas, birthday. I finally found it, y'all. Now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to put my stickers on right yet. I know the happy goes that way and the birthday goes that way. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that right there. I think I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna do that one first because I just had an idea of something I think would be super cute, and that is we're gonna do this in black. So again, my tuxedo. Photopolymer stamp is definitely calling for a Stampin' Pierce mat. I might even do this on this yellow. Not quite big enough. Oh, that's stamped really pretty. Okay. So I'm going to get this nice and straight. Oh, that looks so nice. So let's grab the other stamps. And this one I want in red. So I'm going to grab my real red for the happy. Sometimes I think it's just nice to put some color on the inside of our card as well as the outside. I think it adds a lot to it. Let's lay that there. And happy. Make sure I know which way I'm stamping this. Okay, so that is the right way. That's the one thing with not having the stickers on. It can sometimes be a little daunting. Happy. And then we are going to grab the birthday. And this one I want to do in Daffodil Delight. I like the way that looks. Very subtle, but gives you a little blast of color in there. Now I'm going to grab my real red again, and I'm going to hang on to that Daffodil Delight. And I want to grab the little set of flowers out of here. And those are just all one little stamp, which is great. We're going to stamp them right there. And I'm going to grab the real red. I'm going to stamp and then stamp. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'm going to stamp and stamp, just to give that little extra something something. And now this is ready to adhere inside of our card. Something like that. Now, let's go ahead and get these ink pads covered up. And I think for this one I'm going to go ahead and put liquid glue on it. And this is such a fun little card to make. So if you haven't picked up this little Hello Ladybug bundle, you are missing out, because it is so much fun to play with. But I'm not done. I am going to throw in some of my matte black dots. And these are also returning in our annual catalog, which is super, super wonderful because I love them so much. These are just what I consider classic. Anytime you have some black, because you can do so much with just a black something something. So I'm going to put one right here, like it's trailing behind, and I'm using the smallest ones out of my packet. So I'm picking them up with my little putty, and I'm going to run these all the way around. Something like that. And I'm going to come back, and on each one of these little points I'm going to put one of these small black dots. This really does add so much to this card. So it's, you know, it's the embellishments. It's just like when us ladies get ready, you know, it's all about how you can accentuate your outfit with scarves, belts, ties, jewelry. So this is exactly what we're doing with our card. We're accessorizing it. There we go. Isn't that pretty? I think I'm going to do one more or two more. One here and one up here. Love that. Absolutely love it. Now you can come back if you want to and put gems in the middle of these, but I'm not. I think it would be an overkill. You could run a piece of ribbon along here and tie it. Let me see. You know, a nice piece of red ribbon is never a bad thing. So that piece is not long enough, but let's see. I'm not sure if I want this on here or not, but I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to try it. I'm going to just go ahead and cut a piece, and we are going to now once I get that in that square knot, you want to make sure that that stays laying like that. This is where a pair of reverse tweezers can come in very handy. And when I say reverse, they are closed and you push to open. That's what makes them a reverse tweezer. I'm just going to let that hold that for me while I tie a very simple but hopefully effective bow. Alright, so now that I've gotten that tied on there, I think I do like that. I think it's very pretty. I'm going to use some glue dots to hold this in place. So I'm going to take your pick tool, and I'm just going to pick up a glue dot, and I'm going to put it right up underneath that bow and just press that bow into it. That's going to help assure that it stays in place. And then I am going to pull my tails down like that and cut. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to manipulate that tail just a little bit, and then we're going to cut. And then I'm going to turn this over on the back, and I want to put a glue dot right up underneath that back piece. If I'd have thought ahead, I would have put that underneath the other piece, but I didn't, so that's okay. You know, this will work. And there is our beautiful little bumblebee. Not bumblebee. I keep calling these bumblebees. You know why? Because I did a card using these where I made them. Now see how those wings are moving? If you don't want your wings to move, again, this is where a glue dot can come in very handy. Just take a glue dot and put right there, and another one on the other side. one right here, just to kind of hold those in place. So there's our beautiful little card. I think it turned out super, super cute. I think anyone would be happy to receive this as a birthday card. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that you may want to pick up this cute little bundle while it's available. It is so much fun, and I'm sure you will have as much fun as I did working with it and playing with it. So many different possibilities, and I'll have everything that I used in the description below. I'll have all the card measurements and everything that I used. So thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you. Let's zoom in a little bit so we can look at that beautiful card. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. I hope you're blessed beyond measure. And I'm looking at this little flower I have right here, and how cute would it be? That's a little bit of an overkill, but if I had thought about it. Of course, this is not a Stampin' Up! Die. That was something I was playing with when I was doing those handmade flowers. But it would be cute inside. That would be super cute. And who knows, I may have to put it in there. God bless and keep you. And thank you so much for tuning in again today. I love you. I cherish you. I appreciate you. So, like I say, in all of my closings, you will never hear me not say this. Let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is worthy. Until we craft again, God bless and keep you. Bye-bye.